Do you struggle with holding your own in really difficult situations? I do, and I want to share this reading from The Language of Letting Go today, October 22nd. Please listen as I share this passage and my take on it. Trust yourself. Trust what you know. Sometimes it is hard to stand in our own truth and trust what we know, especially when others would try to convince us otherwise. In these cases, others may be dealing with issues of guilt and shame. They may have their own agenda. They may be immersed in denial. They would like us to believe that we do not know what we know. They would like us not to trust ourselves. They would prefer to engage us in their nonsense. We don't have to forfeit our truth or our power to others. And when we do, that's called codependency. Believing lies is dangerous when we stop trusting our own truth, when we repress our instincts, when we tell ourselves there must be something wrong with us for feeling what we feel or believing what we believe, we deal a deadly blow to ourselves and to our health. When we discount that important part of ourselves that knows what is the truth, we cut ourselves off from our center. We feel crazy. We get into shame, fear, and confusion. We can't get our bearings when we allow someone to pull the rug from underneath us. And this does not mean we are never wrong, but we were not always wrong. Be open, stand in your truth, and trust what you know. And refuse to buy into denial, nonsense, bullying, or coercion that would like to take you off your course. And ask to be shown the truth clearly, not by the person trying to manipulate or convince you, but by yourself, your higher power, and the universe. And today I will trust my truth, my instincts, and my ability to ground myself in reality. I will not allow myself to be swayed by bullying, manipulating, games, dishonesty, or people with peculiar agendas. When I first read this morning, I had to share with you this memory that I had earlier this year, this occurrence, and it was devastating. And I bought into it, or I tried not to, and I was really unclear, although the hints and all the signs had been there for years. And I was leaving a party. And as I was leaving this party, this group of people were standing in a circle. And the leader of the circle said, "Oh my God, there goes Patty Brick." And what I did in that moment was I bowed my head, I looked over, bowed my head, and continued walking. Not in shame, but in a reality that did not mesh with my own. And I had no idea what I did to deserve that kind of comment. But I know that this person was deeply disappointed in me by her actions. And there was not one person around her who stood up to her, who stood up to the bully, including myself. Now, if I were in a different state today, I might go up and say, "Excuse me, what did you say? Did you want to say something to me? Did you want to share something with me?" And even though that happened, it took so much for me to overcome it, to say, this is nonsense. This is not who I am. And this is not the person I want to be around. And I don't. And so I share this with you because we can buy into the nonsense, but I choose not to. And I choose to leave situations that are not loving to me. And I have been bullied my whole life. This isn't anything new. And what I discovered this morning as I was reflecting on that is I need to sit with the pain of rejection, and not that particular pain of rejection, but the original pain of rejection, of not belonging, of not feeling worthy. And sitting with that pain is so unpleasant. But in order for pain to be released with pain, I have to observe it and sit with it. And how do I know? because I've experienced it. I've sat in a 10-day silent retreat, meditation retreat, for 10 days, sitting with myself and realizing how I create my own drama, how I create my own pain and suffering. And it's stored in my body just as it's stored in yours. And then to release it, I have to experience it. And it is a lot of pain. My suffering comes from revisiting the situation over and over. And I just don't want to do that anymore. Another thing I wanted to point out to you what happened is a friend of mine who's a therapist reached out to me and said, Patty, you have so much anxiety, and I didn't even know it. I thought I was good. No, I was pretty incoherent because I have a dysregulated nervous system from all the trauma I've had in my life. And I will continually, and I have continually, walked into unsafe situations because they are familiar to me. And now what I'm doing is backing off, choosing to be around only loving people who don't want to fix me but only want to love me. And I'm going to encourage that for you too. And it's what I realized is I was always going in trying to get love where there wasn't any because it felt familiar. And I know what love feels like now. Love feels safe. Love feels uplifting. Love feels whole. Love isn't something you extract from someone else. Love is a feeling of wholeness, a feeling of acceptance, a feeling of no matter what I do, I'm going to be okay. And I offer that to you today as you move through your life, that you choose to be in relationships with people who really love you, not say they love you. And they demonstrate it with their words and they demonstrate it with their actions. If you like this kind of content, please like, and I would love if you subscribe to my channel. It's free. There's nothing out of it that you're going to get except I get to get more views. And I really want to share this message with the world that if we find those unloving parts of ourselves, then we can turn them into love and become more loving in the world. And when we become more loving in the world becomes more loving. And I love you.